Hello and welcome to the podcast. I am Kilobyte with my two co-hosts here.
Hiya, I'm Onyx.
And I'm Clickbait.
And on today's special episode, we have another fantastic guest with us, Andy Barnett, the voice of Rhinox from the Netflix series Transformers War For Cybertron trilogy. Thank you so much for being here, Andy.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we ready to get started with some questions?
Absolutely. Let's do it. This is going to be fun.
Okay,
Let's go.
Let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So let's see. I've been doing full-time voice acting since 2014. Prior to that, I worked in radio for a long time, actually. Worked as a DJ and hosted a talk show for a little bit of time and did news and some other different stuff. But getting into voice acting was what I always wanted to do, and just took me a little bit later in life to figure it out. So I grew up watching cartoons like most of us and mimicking voices. So it was Mel Blanc's stuff from the old Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies, and I did a lot of that. And then, and as a child of the 80s, I grew up watching classic shows like Transformers, G1, and I just when I discovered voice acting and started getting into that and moving into that full time, I just came alive. It's such a fun career. I'm so grateful that I kind of stumbled upon it later. So
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm jealous. So what first brought you into the world of Transformers? You mentioned shows. Is there a specific show or series or a comic?
So I grew up kind of in between, I would say in between G1 and Beast Wars, okay? So I was a little young when G1 was on, but I did watch it, and I remember watching it. I remember really liking it. I remember getting the toys. I remember early on, I really liked the Dinobots, and so I remember having Grimlock, and I remember mimicking Grimlock's voice, and then...
Grimlock's number one.
Yeah, Grimlock rocks, right? So unfortunately no longer have those toys. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Those would have probably been worth something at this point.
No.
But no, I was definitely inundated with cartoons of that era. So yeah, Transformers was a big one. He-Man was a huge one. I was a huge He-Man fan, huge Thundercats fan, Voltron. I don't know if you guys remember Mask, Silverhawks, Bravestar, lots of 80s cartoon goodness. But yeah, that's how I got first introduced to Transformers.
Super fun. There's a lot of great shows in that list that you just put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got to be the role to be the voice of Rhinox, and what was the inspiration for the personality? What was your process like deciding how you wanted to take Rhinox into the series?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So let me backtrack a little and tell you a little more. So I fast forward a few years into my Transformers fandom. It continued to grow. I remember, getting into the movie, for instance. I was into it a few years after it came out, and I'm talking about the real movie, not the live action stuff. I don't think that's even canon, is it? No.
I don't.
But no, the movie was awesome. And I remember as a kid, I loving that, and all the all-star voices that were in that. Like, they had Orson Welles, Leonard Nimoy, Eric Idle, and they had Weird Al on the soundtrack. I mean, it was such cool stuff from that movie. But anyway,
I love that song.
Weird Al is such a I feel like he stood out from the other ones because it wasn't something people were expecting.
Yeah, they weren't expecting that. It was definitely
just listening,
interesting.
like,
a lot of fun.
It's Weird Al, isn't it?
That's my favorite song.
It was so out of the blue, and it was awesome. It was just so cool.
Oh yeah, right on.
But later in high school is when I was in high school when Beast Wars came out, and so I do remember watching it. I remember watching that, and I remember watching Reboot. Reboot had the same kind of style of animation. In fact, I believe they were both from the same production company in Canada, and enjoying those shows very much. So, yeah, that brings us forward to Rhinox. So, yeah, when I auditioned for the different roles in War for Cybertron, I auditioned for a ton of them, actually. Too many to recall, honestly. And I love that I got to be Rhinox. It's funny though, because you go back and you listen, and I go, oh man, my audition for that was pretty good. I thought that was even better. And so, no offense to my good friend Frank Todaro, but I thought I had a great rat trap and a pretty good star scream. But Rhinox, it was meant to be, I guess. So I got to do that and embody that. And so a lot of people ask you, what was that like trying to embody that role, that iconic role that was so well known back in the 90s. And so I wanted to honor the original actor Richard Newman and what he brought to Rhinox, but obviously I'm not Richard Newman, so I can't be Richard Newman 2.0. I have to bring my own personality to it as well. And so I tried to do that. I tried to honor the legacy of that character and the genius, the gentle giant, and yet he is a powerful beast machine. And so I wanted to try and bring my character to that and honor the original. And so it was a challenge, because I know that as a fan myself of so many iconic roles, I understand the attachment people have to original actors and stuff. And I was very cognizant of that and wanted to try and do my best to honor the fans, the character, the original actor, while also, bringing my own personality to it.
I think you did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
I really
I was gonna say,
enjoyed
you did
your work in
amazing.
the
It was
show.
a lot of fun.
Thank
It was
you.
very similar it was very reminiscent of how Richard Newman handled his role, but it was still very clearly a unique spin on the character.
Well, and as you guys know, and we were directed as such. This was a more serious version of these characters, right? This was tried to do this more anime type feel, more grounded, and that threw people off a little bit too. I think that we're used to the original Beast Wars, but it was definitely a different iteration, and we tried to make that come to life.
Yeah. And then outside of Rhinox, we know you guys do a lot of voiceovers, narrations, video game work. You said you had history in radio. Tell us what's been your favorite project and how it compares to the others that you've done.
Oh man, so many projects. Honestly, being a Transformer was awesome. I mean, 7-year-old Andy was just like, yes. I was like, my inner child was rejoicing when I was cast. So yeah, I was super excited to be a part of that. I always wanted to be in one of those epic cartoons that I grew up with, and so being able to do that was fantastic. Now, what else have I done that I've been proud of? I've been in quite a few video games lately. I was in Octopath Traveler 2 that just came out here recently.
Nice.
That was such a fun game to be a part of. Such a great story. If you guys are familiar with it at all, it's a JRPG that is by Square Enix, the guys who do Final Fantasy and stuff, and just
beautiful
really,
art as well.
What's that?
Yeah, I think I played the
beautiful
demo.
art as well. So
beautiful artwork,
great
great storytelling, fun stuff. And that's the second Square Enix game I've been in. I was in Triangle Strategy, which came out a couple of years ago, and got to play a main character in that as well. So I've done some games. I was in another one called Redemption Reapers, which is another JRPG. It seems like I'm kind of carving out a niche in that area, which is cool. And yeah, so other things, I do a lot of commercials. I do a lot of narration. I narrated a show on Discovery Channel called Dino Hunters, which was just a lot of fun. Just all
Nice.
about
Oh
talking
my
about.
gosh.
Sounds like
That
fun.
sound like fun, yeah.
It was.
That
It was.
sounds like a lot of fun.
It was all about ranchers in Wyoming and Montana digging up dinosaur fossils, and it was really cool.
That sounds really cool.
I heard somewhere that dinosaurs were chickens. Is that true?
They're related to birds, right? So
cool.
yeah.
guess-
I mean, I'm
I guess
not.
Swerve was right.
I'm no paleontologist. I just read the script, guys.
Keely, you have to quit using that internet that we told you about. Swerve, you can't trust that.
But he said that they were giant chickens, and I wanted to confirm.
I'm confused.
Since when
Are
does
they the ones
Swerve
with
tell you
the
anything?
giant feathers, or are they the ones with the reptile skin in that one movie, Park of Jurassic?
Ah, yes, the Park of Jurassic. It is a classic indeed.
I thought Jurassic was a time period, not a movie.
Clever girl.
I understood that reference.
Hold on to your butts.
That was a reference in and of itself.
And then, another thing I've done that was really cool was, this was kind of a epic thing too, is I got to voice a sketch on Saturday Night Live.
Ooh.
Really?
Ooh, that's cool. Which one?
So it was the one, and it was actually an episode that a lot of people watched because of who was on the show. It was the show that Elon Musk co-hosted
Oh
a couple
no.
years ago.
Oh, no.
Right? I know.
Aw.
Yeah,
I
we
know.
got a news
Yeah.
of Elon
We
Musk
know
here on
he's
Cybertron.
trouble, yeah. That
But-
came all the way out to Cybertron.
Yes, but no, it was. If you remember the skit, there was a sketch called Murder Dirter, and
Dirter.
it was all about a crime show that we cast people from a very specific region of Pennsylvania that they talked like that, murder dirter, and it was about somebody's daughter getting murdered, but they called her, a dirter.
I think I remember it.
It's so specific.
It is very specific, but people from that area loved it. I think a lot of people did, but especially people from that area. So
that's great. Pretty funny. Shall we move on to the next question?
I'm ready.
If you were offered to play any Transformers character, who would you pick and why?
Yes, what character indeed? I may have given it away there, right?
No idea who you're talking about.
I have always wanted to play a villain, and I haven't gotten that much opportunity to do so. So a villain would be right up my alley. I would love to explore the psyche of Starscream or the tortured past of Megatron. Yeah, I would love to embody one of those epic villains from Transformers.
No, that'd be cool.
Definitely be a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's so much there, especially I don't know. I just feel like Starscream has got some serious, I don't know,
baggage,
daddy issues or what. I think it's daddy.
He does. He's got so many issues.
Yeah, I want to explore Starscream's daddy issues.
That should be a shirt.
That should be a shirt. That should absolutely be a shirt.
Maybe Frank and I can team up and we can put together some sketches where I play I play Rhinox as a therapist.
Yes.
Primus, I absolutely support this.
So,
I support this.
Starscream, tell me more about your father.
Q Frank.
I'm ready for it.
This would be absolutely fabulous.
Go.
Like a Christmas special or something.
Ooh, let's do it. All right, Frank.
Mental health awareness month next year.
The solution is Pedro Pastel. All right, let's go to the next one. Who has been your favorite cast member to work with on War for Cybertron trilogy?
So, interesting fun fact, and you guys may already know this, but most of War for Cybertron was recorded individually, so we didn't do a lot of ensemble work. In fact, I'm not sure if any of it was ensemble. Some of it may have been, but it wasn't with me, unfortunately. So some was in studio, but none was ensemble, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm saddened by that because, I love to record ensemble, and I would love to have done that with this. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen as much anymore just because everybody, getting everybody in the same place and on the same schedule, I guess it's just too difficult to do. But as far as working with people, so I didn't work with them when I recorded, but I have known a lot of the characters, or the actors, I should say, and the characters for a long time. So I knew people like Lindsay, Rousseau, Joe Hernandez. I remember, we kind of came into the industry, I feel like, at the same time, a little bit, taking classes together and workshops and stuff. So I've met them and stuff at different things. Michael Schwalbe, who played, he was in Siege, and he was, what was the name of his character? You guys got a little computer right there? You can look that up.
I think Swerve can let us borrow a computer.
Swerve, can we Google that one? Do you guys know what Google is?
Is it like Bing? Because that's the only thing we get.
You only get Bing on Cybertron? Okay.
Yeah.
Bing gives me third-party names.
They only ever try and look stuff up at Swerve's bar, and he has the absolute worst internet connection, but don't worry, I got you.
Double Dealer. I found it.
Oh, yeah.
I found it before you guys. See, look, my internet connection is stronger here on Earth.
I mean, we do have to look
yeah, we are farther away.
Yeah.
You got to work on that. Maybe get that Starlink connection or something. I don't know.
Bring back Elon Musk again.
Yeah, I know. That's what we call an improv, a second beat. Michael Schwalbe and I actually have been good friends, and we came up in the industry together. So he's somebody I've worked with, and then of course, going to the different cons, I've gotten to meet the cast members like Frank and Jason and so many others, and it's so much fun hanging out with these guys. I love them all. I love them all.
So I have a similar question, but what about outside the Transformers franchise?
So outside the Transformers franchise, who have I worked with? Again, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to do ensemble work, which is unfortunate. But I've got I've got some friends. So I haven't talked about it, I guess, here, but I'm back and forth between Kansas City and Los Angeles, and I spent a lot of time in Kansas City. That's where I grew up. And Tom Kane is from here. Do you guys know who Tom Kane is?
Rings
very
a bell.
bad with names.
That's all right. That's all right. Tom Kane's
faces.
He's a pretty well-known voice actor because he did the voice of Yoda once Frank Oz quit doing stuff. And
yes.
so he was Yoda in all the Clone Wars stuff, and he was also the main announcer in all the Clone Wars animated stuff. And so he was also in Powerpuff Girls, and he's done things like live announce the Oscars, some really cool stuff. Unfortunately, Tom had a stroke here a couple years ago and has been unable to continue. He had to retire. But
Oh no.
prior to that, I got to meet and chat with Tom, and he was one of those guys that kind of helped influence me as I got started in my career. And so he was really awesome. And then there's other awesome giving people in the voice acting community that have just helped guide me along. And it's so interesting because there's all these different niches in voice acting, right? So like, we've talked about the animation and the video games, and I love doing that stuff, but there's a whole world of people who do commercials and narration and promo and all these other things too. So I've had a lot of people that have influenced me and mentored me along the way. There's a guy named, he kind of flies under the radar, but he's done some big stuff. His name is E.K. Amati. I don't know if you guys know that name. He was in Halo 5. He's done a bunch of stuff. And so he's been kind of a mentor as well, lives out in LA.
It does ring a bell.
It does ring a bell, not like a specific face, but it does ring a bell.
And then I've taken
really
workshops.
bad with faces here.
That's all right.
Our names.
You know what they say about us voice actors? We have faces for it. So no, and there's been other cool workshops and stuff. Like I've trained with Rob Paulson and Maurice.
I know
LaMarche.
that name.
Yeah, those guys are so fun. Pat Fraley. There's been a few guys over the years that have been really neat and influential on what I've done. So
Pat Fraley is super cool. He's very nice.
Super cool guy. And the voice of Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
Nice.
he is. Mm-hmm. So then, now that we know who you enjoy working with, who is your favorite Transformers character aside from Rhinox? Because we know he's probably your favorite, and why? If you have more than one, that's fine.
I am going to go back to my early childhood formative years and say it's Grimlock, because there's something about Grimlock that just really speaks to me. I like Grimlock.
Grimlock's the best.
Cool
You get a Rod Star. I don't care what the other two say.
That's Onyx's favorite character also.
That's a bias
it is
opinion
definitely
there.
a biased Rod Star
I don't know
delivery,
about
but
that.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Nice.
Kilo, I think you have the next question.
Yes.
Yeah, it's you, Kilo.
I know. What is your favorite thing about being in the Transformers fan base?
I just how open the community is, how giving, how nice, how it's really a fun community. I didn't know what to expect
really
going to my
is.
first TF Con. I've been to 2 of them now, and man, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. It's always a blast. It feels like a little mini vacation when I get to go to do that. And I wasn't sure what to expect, And the other thing is, I will say this: people have been very gracious to me because I know that I am not a Transformers aficionado, and so they have not given me too much trouble and grilled me too much about the details of Cybertron. So,
oh my goodness, I forget the details.
Is that what happens? So
Yeah.
I'm scared now to go to Earth.
Yeah,
I hear they're pretty intense on Earth.
It's
the
it's
Primus
a
Bible?
crazy world.
It is indeed. I've been a couple times, but I haven't really interacted with the population. They tend to not respond to us too well. Maybe it's better now that they're making all these movies about us. But
yeah, we'll just say we're I'm forgetting the word now.
We're in disguised.
We're in disguise.
We're
That
in
would work
disguise.
too. We can always just say if they take photos, it was photoshopped. We're not real.
Definitely.
There you
Photoshop.
You're just in
So-
cosplay.
We're in cosplay, really good cosplay. 35-foot tall cosplayers.
Absolutely. Well, not all of us are 35 feet, Onyx.
That's
That's
true.
true.
I'm only
Yeah.
5 feet tall.
Gotta try.
I'm like 20 feet tall.
So we'll send Kilobyte as our ambassador.
Absolutely.
Sounds
We
like
can't
the most
send him
efficient way.
unchaperoned though.
There you go.
Andy, what is something no one knows about you that you wish more people did know?
Oh my. Well, people are starting to know this more because I have a YouTube channel now, but I'm big into board games, and we've talked a little bit about that off the air, but I love tabletop gaming, and I've got over 300 games I own. I've spent a lot of money in that arena, which I always like to say there are much worse addictions. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
You could have NGEX, you know, and that's not good.
That's right.
I think those are rookie numbers. You gotta get those up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Kilo, I think you have like 1,000 games, don't you?
Whoa.
That's what it seems like.
Very nice. No, so I love tabletop gaming. That's kind of a hobby of mine, and like I said, I started a YouTube channel doing that. So if you guys want to check that out,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. For
am I allowed to?
Oh yeah.
Do it. All the plugs. All the plugs.
All right. Well, it's just called Around the Board, and you can find it at youtube.com/aroundtheboardshow. And yeah, we'd love to have you guys tune in and check it out as we're talking about all the tabletop stuff.
Absolutely. That'd be great. I have another question. Do you have any other projects you are working on at the moment that you're allowed to talk about?
That I'm allowed to talk about. I guess you don't have NDAs on Cybertron.
Well, I think Starscream mentioned that one time.
Yes, he did. Okay. He did mention
but we had to roll for them. I don't know how that works.
We had to roll. I don't know how.
I don't know. I definitely did not sign one.
Okay. So yeah, I can't unfortunately talk. There is a game that's coming out. It's going to be a pretty big game that I'm in. That's coming out, and really that doesn't give you much information. I'm sorry, but
no, that's fine.
It's coming out, and then there's some other things. There's some other things in the works, and like I said, the newest stuff that I was in that's come out is probably Octopath Traveler 2, which was released like a couple months ago. So.
Lots of fun. Do you have any questions for us since we are nearing the end of this?
I do. So,
you came prepared.
Yes.
We never come prepared for this part.
So, tell me something. Let's see, where do I want to start here? What got you guys into Transformerdom?
Oh goodness.
I was born on Cybertron.
Question.
I started with the Armada cartoon when I was young. And then I kept up here and there with the other shows that came after it, but didn't really watch them too thoroughly. And then one day I was out looking for board games, and I found the Transformers trading card games. And it kind of sparked my love for Transformers again. And that's kind of how I met Onyx. And then we just started geeking out about Transformers. And then I got into the comics, and then it just opened up a new world.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you should read the comics. They're like, I'm good. And then I said, hey, you should read the comics. They're like, oh, maybe. And I was like, oh, you should read the comics. He's like, okay, fine, I'll read the comics. And he's like, they're really good.
Nice.
It's a good time.
How about you, Clickbait?
I came into the Transformers fandom. I was just a little bit. I was at that age where I thought Transformers animated was like too childish, but then Transformers Prime came out, and that paired with Dark of the Moon. I'd kind of grown up with like the live action movies, but when Dark of the Moon came out, I had just gotten into Transformers Prime enough that I realized that there was so much more to Transformers than what was being shown to us in like the live action arena. And so then I went like on this huge deep dive about it. And I personally, what got me super into Transformers was the novelizations that they have. They have some incredible novelizations, some incredible little novels on Cybertronian lore and history. And that was really what cemented me solidly back into the fandom. And yeah.
Very cool.
My favorite is a Transformers Exodus, if you ever get a chance to read.
Okay.
My absolute favorite. I recommend it to everybody.
Excellent. I will have to check that out. I was concerned for a second you were going to say you're just a big Shia LaBeouf fan, and that
was... no, definitely not that.
She has
definitely
a poster in her room. I did definitely can confirm it.
It says actual cannibal on it. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I've heard something about apparently humans are cannibals. I don't even know.
Oh boy. I don't know. Those A-listers are weird.
Yeah.
But you, Onyx?
Oh, me? I was molded by it. I was born in it. I haven't seen Cyberverse since I was already a man.
I didn't see it till I was a man.
No, it's true. That was probably one of the first shows I can coming into consciousness. Remember is Beast Wars?
Mm-hmm.
And G1. I remember it being terrifying at that age, especially like because they had some like really interesting scenes. Like going back and forth is like that was a really good show. But as a toddler, I could see how that'd be terrifying, like just transmutate screaming. But yeah, that's how I got into Transformers.
By being scarred by it.
By being scarred by it.
That's great.
Well, can I share a funny story from you guys?
Absolutely, anytime.
Absolutely.
So I want to tell you the funniest story that I had from TFCon LA.
Oh gosh, I bet there's lots of stories.
There's so many stories, but this one for me,
If this
was
involves me. I think that was someone else.
same on this end.
as a kid from the 80s, I loved me all those 80s cartoons, right? So in at TFCon LA, an actor was there, Alan Oppenheimer. You guys met Alan?
I love him.
Alan is awesome.
He's
Alan is
great.
awesome. First time I'd met Alan, of course he voiced a character in G1, and again, you're gonna have to forgive me because I don't know it off the top of my head, which is why he was at TFCon, but also
Sea Spray, Warpath, Beachcomber, and one more that I can never remember off the top of my head.
Okay, see, there you go. You're the bastion of knowledge. I like it. But you know, he was probably most well known for voicing Skeletor in He-Man, and so as a guest at TFCon LA, we're back in the green room, which is kind of a little staging area where we get to eat some lunch, relax before we go out and meet the fans and stuff. And I'm sitting there at lunch, and my son is with me, my 11-year-old son, who's never been to anything like this, and he was wowed by it. He's sitting next to me, and right between us are a couple of older actors that played Transformers, both Alan Oppenheimer and who else was it? It was the guy who voiced Splinter in TMNT. Man, I'm just having brain farts today, guys. But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Is that like when your CPU crashes?
Yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so Alan Oppenheimer's sitting there. We're finishing lunch. We have this box lunches, and they were okay. I'm not going to say they were great. And Alan had his.
Was it Eric Bauza?
It wasn't Eric Bauza. Man.
Peter.
Is it from the original TMNT?
Or one of the
from
the original.
The original one.
Yeah, it's Peter Renaday. That's right.
Yeah, Peter Renaday. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry. Like I said, brain fart.
Okay.
But anyway, I was sitting between Master Splinter and Skeletor, and I'm just like geeking out, right? Because I'm a kid of the 80s, and we're having a conversation. Anyway, Alan Oppenheimer, who played Skeletor, offers his cookie from his box lunch to my son Elijah. He goes, "Hey, do you want this cookie?" And I go, "Elijah, do not take a cookie from Skeletor." And he busts out into the laugh. I mean, just like it was, he was Skeletor.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely amazing.
It was just like, it was this moment of zen, man. It was just, this is so awesome. I'm so blessed to get to do what I do. Meet such cool people.
Super cool.
Yeah. So that was one of my favorite stories from TFCon.
It's great.
That's a pretty great story.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think you got the next one.
Is it my turn? My turn?
It is your turn, unless he pops any more surprise questions.
The story was so good. Okay, I got involved. So
you're
Andy,
captivated.
Yes. Andy, where can the listeners find you?
They can find me on Cybertron.
On Cybertron?
Yay!
No.
You're gonna come hang out with us?
I'm going to come hang out there, yeah. I'm taking
Awesome.
Is that one of
It's a
those
long
Motel
journey.
6s here?
I'm taking a
Put more
one-way
of those.
trip.
We can send Skylinks out to pick you up.
Okay, excellent. No, you can find me all over the place. I finally have made it so that all my social media handles, I think, are all the same. It's just the Andy Barnett, and you can find me on pretty much everything: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Zanga, MySpace, whatever.
And we will put all of those links in the description for you listeners, so you can go follow Andy.
Or you can just go to my website, andybarnett.com. That helps too.
Ooh, even
Awesome.
better. Oh, do I get the last question?
You do.
You
Are there
do.
any words of wisdom or something special you would like to say to the listeners?
Yeah, I would. I get to meet so many cool people in the fandom, and I just want to celebrate you guys because you guys make my day, man. Whenever I get to go to these cons and interact with people, it's so fun. It's so fun to see people's face light up and just get to chat with them about stuff. I will say that if you're looking to get into voice acting, my words of wisdom are to you to stay after your dreams, keep after it, have some tenacity because it took me a while. Like I said, I worked in radio and other jobs for a number of years before I finally fortunately stumbled into what I wanted to do all along. And I've been so grateful for that. And so I just encourage people to stay after their dreams. If you're wanting to do voice acting, also another big one, this one was given to me early, take improv classes. Take improv classes. That helps you develop acting skills like nothing else.
And then what?
And then what?
Yeah.
Yes, and.
Then you get
Yes,
lucky.
and. Oh, well, see, I got it backwards. My bad.
Then what works too?
It's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
No, it's...
I mean, that's all you ever tell, so I'm not even surprised.
Hey. Hey.
Well, with that,
So rude.
thank you so much, Andy, for being here with us. And thank you to the listeners for tuning in. And we hope you're all staying safe out there. To all
Thank
our one.
you. Till
Till all are
all
one.
are one.
Till all are one.